Thank you for tuning in to the Music Lovers Podcast, where we explore all types of music.
Reminiscing on the old jams and putting you on to what's new.
We are your hosts, Megan.
Ashley,
And Kalila, and we want to know,
Do you speak music?
Oh, yes. Oh.
hey everybody, thank you for tuning in to the Music Lovers Podcast, known as Do You Speak Music? We again are your hosts, Ashley, Megan, Kalila. And before we get into the nitty gritty of the show, just kind of wanted to give you guys a rundown of how things are going to go today. So, Kalila, Megan, Ashley, the three of us have had this idea for quite some time. We're going to kind of explain to you about the process of how we picked the name. We're going to let you know who we're listening to today. We've got some music news for you, and then we'll get into our topic. So I have known Megan for, goodness, I would say a little bit over 10 years. Just met Ashley not too long ago, but I love the chemistry that the three of us have between each other. So if we could go ahead and just kind of talk about each of our own music endeavors or anything that we're doing arts related, and kind of go into why we feel like we're qualified to be hosts for this podcast. Megan, can we start with you?
Sure. I'm Megan. I have been surrounded by music my entire life. I come from a music family. My dad and his brothers have been playing music their whole lives, starting all the way going back to the 70s. So music has been around me since the day I was born. It's pretty much made me who I am. So I kind of have no choice to be a musician. Not a musician by trade, but just a musician at heart. So finding new music, singing new music, trying to figure out how I can perfect my craft as a part-time musician, I guess you can say. I sing at church, sing background vocals when a friend needs me, but I'm always just trying to use my gifts for God in any way possible. So this is one of the great ways that I can do that by, spreading knowledge of good music and then just sharing my love with everybody else. What about you, Ashley?
well, I too grew up in a musical household. Not that my parents were musicians, but they both had a wide range of musical tastes. So when I woke up on Saturday mornings to clean, sometimes it'd be gospel playing, sometimes it was jazz playing, sometimes it was R&B, soul. And I just really appreciate that about my upbringing. I love that my parents opened me up and exposed me to different genres of music. And I've loved music ever since I was a child. I do sing at church as well, do some background vocals. When, like Megan said, whenever a friend needs me, I'll pop in, drop a couple ooh wahs, doo-wop, pop pops, whatever's needed.
Okay, well, I'll talk about myself, Kalila. I have been singing since I was a little girl. My mom put me in the Chicago Children's Choir at the Beverly Arts Center in the early 90s, made sure that I was heavily involved in musical theater, music, choirs, performing arts. My grandmother actually was born in 1931, and she was a cabaret dancer. So with her having a different background, music related, and then making sure that my mom, my aunts and uncles always knew some different types of music. I have uncles who are musicians and have played for some pretty well-known artists. So I think that I'm a little bit qualified at least to go ahead and share my thoughts, share my journey in music. I used to be a worship leader for years. I am kind of still on a sabbatical. I've taken some time away. I have a 3-year-old daughter, and my husband and I have tried to just make sure that we give her as much undivided attention as we could. So just trying to make sure that I'm not in 10 different things at the same time. But I do love music, always have, always will. And I know for sure I will definitely get back into music performance.
Yes, because the world, listen, first of all, for people who don't know, Kalila is a singer, okay? I don't even know if Ashley knows because, like,
I do
like
know. I've
Ashley.
seen the clip.
Okay, I'm about to say
I saw
this
the
girl
medley.
sings. Okay, sings.
Not the
So
college clips. No, those are bad.
no, that the thing is they're good, and we were in
I
college.
heard the potential.
See, so let we need the people need to know. So we don't worry, y'all. Just in case y'all not pushing her, don't worry. We pushing her. She gonna get back into on somebody's mic. We gonna make that happen.
Okay. Well, your brother tried to get us to make an album, so
You
Best
right. He
Voices
said
in
we was the
Dalton.
best singers in Dalton. So we just kind of gave away our location a little bit too. So, but anyway, yeah, he said we the best singers in Dalton. So maybe we'll make something happen. if y'all push us enough, we'll make it happen. But speaking of
Shout out to
albums,
the South
though,
suburbs.
huh? You said what?
Shout out to the South suburbs of Chicago.
True.
Right.
They raised us. But speaking of albums, y'all, let me tell y'all. So I've been listening. First of all, have y'all listened to JoJo's album yet?
I started
I haven't.
it.
I
I got
can't.
to the 4th track, and then I got distracted or got a call or something. So I have not finished it, but I need to.
Listen, it's. I think it's only like 9 songs, but that mug is fire. Like the whole thing
Oh, I believe it.
is good. We've been missing JoJo, and she came back the way she should. So yeah, I've been listening to JoJo, and I've been listening to a whole bunch of singles from Songland. So those have been my jams. I just been.
You said singles from who?
Songland, the show. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
so some of them they get picked by the artist, and then for some of the songs that didn't get picked, they still release them on Spotify. So I've been listening to that too. This one song in particular called "Pill for This." That mug is it's pop, but I love it. It's one of my favorite songs from
Ain't
Songland.
nothing wrong with a little pop.
Yes. So yeah, what y'all been listening to?
Well, I finally listened to Tomish and Yusuf Day's album, and it's dope. I was cooking to that last night. That was really good. And then I went back and started listening to When I Get Home by Solange.
Oh, okay. So the one from last year, the one she just dropped, or recently.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
KB.
I have really been going back. I mean, back before I was even born. And I know we have talked about, previously before even recording for the podcast, we have talked about our different levels and appreciation for Sade, but nonetheless, I've definitely been listening to Sade. I've been listening to a lot of Anita Baker. I think that it's kind of taken me back to a time where I was around my family every day growing up. Obviously, we're in the middle of a pandemic, across the entire world. It's not just the USA, it's not just Chicago, it's several different countries dealing with this all at the same time. And so because I can't hug or kiss like my grandmother and other older family members, those playlists and those older songs kind of take me back to a time when I was a little girl. Everybody would be either cooking together or we saw each other a lot more often aside from FaceTime or, virtual conversations. So I have been taking it back to the late 70s, early 80s for sure.
I love that though. I mean, that's good music. Late 70s, early 80s. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, like I can't go a whole week without listening to some oldies.
Oh yeah.
I'm always in my 70s and 80s playlist. So
yeah. For some Saturday, the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Listen, that
one gets me every time.
Song. I know every ad-lib. I don't know how I managed to be both Alexander O'Neal and Sherelle at the same time when I sing it, but I make it work because I have to.
True. And another one I was singing, you abandoned me. Love don't
let them here. That have you pulling over on the side of the road.
Yes. I sang it to my brother today because he moved out. So I sang it to Jordan. Oh man. All right. So now what we got?
Let's get into this music news, guys.
Yeah, let's do that.
So, as we all know, coronavirus has caused a lot of interruptions to our daily life and to plans we may have made for summer 2020. It's supposed to be lit, but it's looking like it's going to be lit while indoors.
It's going to be dim.
Right.
A little dim, just a little bit.
Right. A lot of people have been complaining about not being able to get refunds for tickets that they bought to different concerts, shows, and festivals. They just canceled Pitchfork, I believe, the other day. And they said that they estimate that we've spent at least $3.5 billion for concerts and festivals that were supposed to be happening over the summer.
Wow.
And a lot of people have not been able to get their money back. So they've just been really trying to, I guess, get people to understand that these companies have lost money too, and that their obligation is more so to the promoters instead of the consumers. There's just been an ongoing battle between those two parties, you know, like who's going to get the money. It's crazy. I feel like people more so though are going to miss the experience. I think a lot of people are more so looking forward to the experience of being, you know, being able to listen to some good music and some nice weather.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
It is.
Secondly, The Weeknd has spent 20 weeks at #1 on the Billboard Artist 100 chart after his album After Hours release.
Okay.
The only two artists that have spent longer at #1 are Drake and Taylor Swift. I think that's interesting just because, well, me, myself, I'm not a huge The Weeknd fan. I do have a few songs for him that I keep in rotation, but he has a really large fan base. Like, I didn't know how serious it was until I read about that. Like, oh, wow, like, he's really doing it out here.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. But he does have a wide range of, I mean, he has a wide range of music. I mean, because that was his first album that came out. I feel like it was like dark R&B kind of.
It was.
But
I think a lot of people, he's almost like emo R&B.
Yeah, and that's for sure. Emo, but that's what he first came out with. But then, you know, I feel it coming. That's, you know, poppy, and so he's been all over the place. And he's been able to get a whole bunch of different people, just a different fan base, like all over. So
yeah,
that's cool. Because I didn't know. I had no clue he had that type of fan base, but it makes sense when you think about it.
It does. And I haven't listened to After Hours, but I guess I'll have to check it out now to see.
I haven't either.
You know, see what the hype is about.
Yeah, that's only for the hype. Just,
right.
I don't know if I've ever listened. To be completely honest, I don't know if I've ever listened to a full Weeknd album.
Really?
No.
I listened to Starboy, and I didn't care for it like that.
Yeah, I haven't.
Songs, but, you know, to each his own.
Right. Yeah.
It's good, just not good enough for me.
There you go.
That's our motto.
Yeah, that's what it is. We might put that on the shirt somewhere.
Right.
Okay.
So speaking of to each his own, you all, our topic for this episode is running down our list of our top 10 R&B albums for the decade, meaning 2010 to 2020. Top 10 R&B. Yes. It was so hard for me personally. I don't know about Megan. Kalila, I know you were stressed.
Kalila's still stressed. Let's talk about it.
Yes. Honestly, I don't blame you because I could change this list tomorrow. It could be something totally different because you got contemporary R&B, you got traditional R&B, you got alternative R&B. Like,
I think for me, the difficulty is that I don't know what I know, if that makes sense. I listen to so much that if you ask me top 10 albums, R&B albums specifically from the last 10 years, 10 years ago, I was a sophomore in college. And so there was a lot of music being put out in 2010. Mm-hmm. I don't mean I was listening to it, but yeah.
All right, who want to start? Anybody want to start?
I think you should start. You were ready.
I have been ready.
For a few days. You've been ready.
Okay, you're right. I have been, and I almost, even though since the last time we talked, I almost wanted to switch out someone. But I'm just go ahead. I'm gonna list my 10. I'm gonna say why. I give a little snippet about why I love it. I'm gonna tell y'all what year it came out too.
Oh, I should have done that.
That's okay. So
Megan went for extra credit.
Right.
Listen.
Turned up Simon in early, and she got dates.
I do. I got a lot of time on my hands. But anyway, all right. So here we go. Let's start from the beginning. This is in no particular order, by the way. No particular order. These are just the ones that are from 1 to 10, and I do have an honorable mention. All right, here we go. Number 1, Gumbo Live by PJ Morton. Okay. Gumbo is a dope album, but when you listen to live, I personally feel like I cannot go back to the first Gumbo because when you listen to it with them strings, with his transitions, the background vocals, the features, you can't go back to the first one. That's what I think.
That's valid.
He asked on his IG one time, was like, y'all really can't go back? No, I can't.
No.
So that's one of them. My second one, Channel Orange, Frank Ocean. So wait, PJ Morton, that came out in 2018. Channel Orange, Frank Ocean came out in 2012. Now I'm gonna say I was a little late to that one. I did, even though one of my roommates in college, Bruce, he loved that album. So I don't know how I was so late to it, but I didn't probably start listening to the album until like a few years ago. But that mug is dope. Next, Kaleidoscope Dreams by Miguel, 2012. That mug came out in 2012. I could play that thing all the way through, and I mean, for me, it's a lot of guitar on it. But I mean, I think that's Miguel period. But a lot of strings on it, and it gives me kind of Prince vibes. The whole thing. Gives me Prince vibes. The next one, this is number 4. A lot of people might not know about this one, but I'm gonna say it anyway. The Essential LP by Brick Liam. Okay, came out in 2017. Again, transitions, background vocals, lyrically, him singing. Period. Like you can't even sing one of his songs from that album and not go into the next song as you singing it because of the transitions on that album. And another thing, I tweeted him and he was like, because I was talking about his latest EP that he came out with, just talking about his transitions. He was like, I did that on purpose. I'm like, smart man. You did good. You did good on that. The next one I got is Reality Show by Jasmine Sullivan. Came out in 2015. Like everybody, we have been waiting for that album for a long time, and that's another one. A long time. I think since what was it? Love Me Back was the one before that.
But I was gonna say it was longer for me because I skipped over Love Me Back really. So
yeah, yeah, I know. We'll get Ashley to our side one day. So yeah, I did that one. Reality Show. Yeah, I can play that one all the way through. This next one, I was kind of going back and forth because it's not. I don't know if you could consider the whole thing R&B, but I'm just gonna say it is because that's what it's labeled. And R&B, I feel like R&B needs the chance to evolve. I feel like sometimes we kind of restrict R&B to the 90s or whatever. Everybody thinks of R&B and they think specifically of 90s R&B. But yes, I'm gonna say this one. So Control by SZA, 2017 came out. Okay. It's R&B songs on there. It's also some songs that could be kind of pop, but that like I said, we talked about it, and that's a good album. 20 something still. Whew. Dark liquor and
it's right here.
Turn the lights down. Just kind of think about my life. Number 7, A Seat at the Table, came out 2016. Solange. So that's another one. I listened to it today just to make sure I was right. I was right. That's Number 8, Beyonce by Beyonce, came out in 2013. That's another one I feel like I can play all the way through. The last 2, no, this next one, again, people might think I'm crazy. But Molly Is by Molly Music came out in 2014. When that came out, people finally figured out who Molly was. Like if we grew up in the church, so we knew about like, here is my heart.
I was gonna say the church folks knew.
The church folks knew.
The young
that Molly Is put Molly on.
It did.
And, I mean, even his album after that, I don't think enough people know about it. There's some good songs on that. But Molly Is, that mug put him on, and it was a good album all the way through. So yeah, that came out in 2014. And then my last one, and please don't go in on me if I don't say this right. Freudian by Daniel Caesar.
You did.
Okay. Came out in 2017. That's a good one too. He's dope. And that's another one who I think kind of just tested the traditional background vocals, I guess, for R&B. And then my honorable mention, which I had a few, but we only can do one. All Blue by Jay Nova. Came out in 2018.
Okay.
That's another one that I could play all through. And me and Ashley are like Jay Nova stans. So anything she does, I love. But that's the one that was my honorable mention. So I could talk about that forever too, but I won't. I'll let y'all go. Y'all can go ahead and go to your albums. Yeah, go ahead. So who want to go next?
I'll
I'll
go.
go.
Oh,
Look,
Go ahead.
I gotta get this over with because y'all,
I know, that's what I'm like, just go ahead, girl.
when I say this has been so stressful, it's been so stressful. So I'll just go ahead and go. These are not in rank from least to greatest or vice versa, but this, I will say, took me from 20 years old to almost 30 years old. So that is a important span of
it's
life.
very.
So I have Justin Timberlake's 2020 Experience. I will say that is definitely an album that there are very few albums where I don't skip. I know we were not allowed to use Usher's Confessions, but that because it's not a part of the 2010s, but Confessions was probably the only album that I never would skip until I literally heard 2020 Experience. I was like, oh my God. So yes, Justin Timberlake 2020 Experience. Most of my friends know that I am a die-hard Erykah Badu. Like, I will spend whatever it takes to see her when she comes to Chicago. That is my girl. I don't care if you don't understand Erykah. I don't understand Erykah. But that's what I love about her. So New America is definitely in my top 10. And then just like Megan, Gumbo Live, hands down. I love PJ. I even, just a fan before I was even able to work with the PJ Project. That man knows that let's just put singing aside. Like,
right.
He can play. He can play.
Oh yes, he
He's a
can.
musician.
He can play.
Definition of it.
Oh my God, I just love. So shout out to PJ Morton. Shout out to Brian. Shout out to Ed. I just love his whole band. I love all of them. They're amazing. Another album I absolutely loved was Beyonce 4.
That was a good one.
Whew.
I remember. Listen, Kevin used to play that when that first came out all the time. Gateway. Was it?
I live in Gateway?
Yeah. Jack House is in Gateway.
So I was pretty like, let's just go ahead and say I am not a part of the Beehive, but I am smart enough to know that the woman is creative. Like, she is a musical genius, and Beyonce is bad, okay? She's amazing. But at that time, I was a junior in college, turning 21. Again, another very pivotal moment of my life. So yes, I used to play the heck out of that album.
Yes.
And then another album that I love is Electric Lady by Janelle Monáe. So I am equally just as crazy about Erykah as I am about Janelle. Do I understand everything? No. Do I accept everything that she does or says? No. But guess what? This girl is still great. Like, she is crazy in her genius. I love Janelle Monáe. So Electric Lady for sure. And then a lot of people don't really know Darius Scott unless you watch. What is the name? Now I'm going.
You said Darius Scott?
Mm-hmm, I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
So unless you are a really big fan of the show, the TV show, The Voice, some of you may or may not have heard of Darius Scott, but his album Young, when I tell you, I will put him up with Usher Confessions. I don't skip. I do not skip.
Right.
So I will make sure. Yes, I will make sure that I definitely send the link. Share. Sharing is caring.
It is.
But Darius Scott, oh my goodness, and he was already super creative in his own right prior to working with Pharrell. But I just think that that extra drip of Pharrell.
Oh, Pharrell is on it? Yes. That's for
Well,
me.
you know, Pharrell was a coach, one of the judges.
Right.
Oh, right.
And
Yeah.
so at the time when he was on the show,
Dang,
yeah,
that's
so
dope.
Yeah, we need that.
yes. So so I also have to say Jasmine Sullivan, 2 albums back to back, Love Me Back, reality show, hands down. When I tell you Love Me Back is still in my car from college that I no longer drive, but it's still in my possession. My husband knows, do not touch the album. Do not take it out. I don't care if I haven't touched it. I don't care if I don't drive that car anymore and it's sitting outside. Don't touch.
Because if ever you get in the car and want to listen to it and it's not there,
It's gonna be some problems.
problem.
Listen. And I love him, but I just might fight him over Jasmine, okay? So Jasmine Sullivan's both Love Me Back and reality show. And then I also do have the Ascension LP by Brick Liam. It is an album that I do not skip, so much to the point where I've even shared his album with people who normally don't even listen to R&B. So my mom is now like, oh, I like this song. I love that song. Megan and I joke around, and a couple of our other friends from college, we joke around with my husband Jacob all the time about music and ranking different artists from 1 to 10. And when I tell you, Jacob is probably going to listen more so to rap than anything else. He categorizes anything that's not rap to him is called smooth jazz. So gospel is smooth jazz. R&B is smooth jazz. Rock and roll is smooth jazz. He is like, man, I love Brick Liam smooth jazz. So obviously the man is good at what he does. And
Right.
then We Are King by the group King.
Ooh. It is a good one. Dang.
It is. I know, right?
What did they can sing? I mean, they just, the way that they arrange music, the way they compose the music, I love everything about them, everything about the group. We recently learned that there have been some structural changes within the group, but that's okay. The album is still good. And my honorable mention, surprisingly, I'm like, me and Megan have all these same albums. Molly is my.
Oh wow! Okay.
Great mind.
That album came out right after I had just moved to DC. I literally had left St. Louis with $500 to my name, no job. I moved in with one of my roommates from college, and that album came out at a time where I was like, okay, let me just pack up whatever I can fit in my car, and I'm about to drive all the way to DC and make it work. That album, for sure, was a big part of my life. So, all right, Ashley, lay it on the stick.
Come on.
All right. So now that we've gotten to, my list and you two have gone already, it is cool to see what albums we all share on our lists. I feel like an outlier though, because I feel like y'all shared a lot, but it's okay. A lot of R&B came out, a lot of good R&B has come out over the past 10 years. All right. So, and again, no particular order. First, I have Controlled by SZA because I just feel like that album defines my life in my 20s. From track 1 to the last track to 20-somethings. I listened to the album and I was like, girl, have you been listening to my thoughts? Are we connected telepathically? How do you know everything I'm going through? An album. Okay, second, I have Shea Butter Baby by Ari Lennox, which got snubbed at the Soul Train Awards. But that's fine. Ari, you're going to get your just due one day. I know it's coming, girl. Because even her first album, I think that's how you pronounce it, P-H-O.
I believe it's fun. Yeah, it is.
That album was great too. But Shea Butter Baby, that's a no-skip album for me. I also have Gumbo Live by PJ Morton. Yes. And again, you're right. You cannot go back to the studio version after the live version. It's just something about live music that you just feel. You just feel energy. It hits different.
Yeah.
Fourth, I have A Midsummer's Night by Maxwell.
Oh.
That's another album that I love because the instrumentation, even though it was in a studio, it sounds very live. It sounds like you're in a room in a dark bar somewhere sipping some dark liquor watching Maxwell on stage. You know what I'm saying? In a nice suit. I love that album. Right. Fifth, I have Beyonce, 4. I just feel like Beyonce started singing different when 4 came out, man. Like, I don't know if it was because of Blue Ivy, but that growl was different. Those low notes were different. She was just hollering more and like just gritty. Everything. I love it. Reality Show by Jasmine Sullivan is my 6th pick. Again, a no skip album, and we waited a long time for Jasmine to come back, and she did not disappoint. 7th, I have Channel Orange by Frank Ocean. And I know some Frank Ocean fans consider Blonde a better album than Channel Orange, but you just cannot disrespect the classics. That's a classic album.
Yes.
It was his first, and he came out swinging like Frank did no wrong on Channel Orange. He just didn't. 8, I have Drunk by Thundercat.
Oh,
okay.
Yes. For those of you who don't know, me, Megan, and our friend Dante are Thundercat stands. Like, our friend will sing Thundercat lines throughout my day. Like, that man is so quirky, and he's another artist I don't understand fully. I really don't. I don't know where he be going. I don't know. But it makes sense. When he puts that pen to paper and gets on that bass, like, it just all makes sense.
Yeah.
9th, I Have a Seat at the Table by Solange. That was just, man, that was an album that was for the culture. Like, it came out at the perfect time. We were dealing with, like, the Black Lives Matter movement and all the police brutality going on. And that album was really for us, by us. Like, she did us justice, and she spoke through that album. And I can relate. Like, I love it.
Yeah.
I keep saying, like, I apologize.
Hey, it's the first episode. We got it.
10th, I have Kaleidoscope Dream by Miguel. That album made me like solidify me as a Miguel fan. I liked Miguel before, but that album was like, okay, I'm gonna follow him in whatever he's doing for the rest of his career, because he's amazing. And I agree, I like the guitar in that album. Again, like, it just sounds live. Like, some of the songs just get real hard. Like, it's really good. My honorable mention was Anti by Rihanna. Is anti or anti?
Anti. I don't. It depends on who you ask. I think
right.
I say anti.
I'm gonna call it anti. I'm gonna call it anti. That sounds like more so what Rihanna was going for. So, but we all know how good of an album Anti is. That album needs no explanation. That's another no skip. Every song is creative. It's different. It was really good. A breath of fresh air.
Okay, like you said, I think it's cool to see which ones we had in common. But the thing is,
right, we can breathe now.
Because we can breathe now. But the thing is, I don't know. The ones we have in common, some people might not say that was, because I don't know if Gumbo Live was on that Billboard's 50 albums or 100 albums or whatever.
Gumbo was, I think.
Oh, you're right.
I'm
Gumbo
not sure,
but not Gumbo.
Yeah.
Okay.
But not Gumbo Live. That's what they don't understand.
They don't.
Oh, excuse me.
We like live music.
Yes, we do like the live. And like I said, live PJ. First of all, me and Kalila really go see PJ every time he comes here. Because even if you've seen him play a show, the next time he comes, it'll be crazy energy, but it'll be different. And that's just, I think that's one of the epitomes of musicianship, is to be able to present the same songs, present them differently, and people still love it. Because to be completely, I'm going to kind of like on a PJ rant, but PJ will release the same song over and over again and will still get Grammys for it. Because let's be clear, Built for Love came out in like 2011, and he just put it on Paul, and that mug got
that's the one with Jasmine Sullivan, right?
Yes, and it got nominated for a Grammy. I think, did it win a Grammy? If it didn't win, it got nominated for a Grammy, and that it came out for the first time in 2011.
Man,
so that he's a master at reinventing songs and obviously making classic music, because that song "Built for Love" was dope in 2011 and it's still great in 2019 or 2020, because we're in 2020, but it's still great in 2020. So that's my PJ rant for now. Again, we can all talk about this stuff forever, but yeah, so that's what's up. I think we got it done. We did. I think we did good.
There was so many more albums I could have added though. I could have done a top 30, honestly.
I could have done. I'm looking at 5 right now that I can say, and I got some in my mind. I mean, it's because it's in the independent artists, other independent artists that I can say.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep.
Well, yeah. So that's it. Those are our top 10. Please let us know which ones y'all think we missed. Who y'all think
Yes.
we missed. Who you think that we are crazy for putting on our list. Let's talk about it. Yeah, let's talk about it. Tell us what y'all think, and then I was thinking that we could, so we, everybody loves a good playlist, so we can put our favorite songs from each album into a playlist.
Oh Lord, you try to give me a heart attack. The stress.
We got to get it.
My weave is gonna fall out.
Listen.
The stress.
We gotta get people something to listen to. We gotta give people something to listen to. Just a little bit more to our brains, our musical brains, our music hearts. Just just get a little bit more. So on our next episode, this is gonna be this might be even more stressful than the top 10 albums. 10s. But the next episode, we are gonna be talking about each of our favorite 10 vocalists of all time. Okay, that's from every bit of music that we have listened to, that we are aware of, that has come out from since they started recording music until now. Again, it's gonna be tough. I already know it's gonna be tough. Again, y'all might think we crazy for the people who have been there and don't. KB is stressed, but just like she did it this week, she can do it next week.
Man.
I'm looking at my list now, and I've crossed out several people and swapped. And again, it's probably gonna depend on the day, because
honestly, my favorite.
Y'all keep doing this for me.
Yes, it's like my favorite anything can change from week to week.
Absolutely, because my favorite 10 out this one can change from week to week. The one that we just talked about. Yeah, that's why like we always say, like we all know, music art is subjective, and that's why it depends on how you feeling that day. So until next time, like I said, we'll be back with our top 10. Thank y'all for listening. We can't wait to continue to roll out more good music discussions, and we love y'all, and we will talk to y'all the next time.
Bye. Adios.